miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Good evening, everybody. It's Mark Klein hanging out with you. Welcome to another Long Island Blues Warehouse at liblues.com. Always remember to check out EKO Studios, of course, the official studio of the Blues Warehouse at ekoproductions.com. That's where we are tonight and every week when you check out these great webisodes. So I just wanted to share that with you all. You good with that, Ralphie? Appreciate that as always. Let's see, what are we doing today? Tonight, we have a very special guest on the stage, a young lady who performed 2 years in a row on American Idol. She was on last year and the year before. I can't remember the seasons. We'll talk about that shortly. 10 and 11, I'm guessing. Right down to performing the national anthem at Citi Field. And if you YouTube the name I'm about to share, you'll get to see that great performance. This week's featured artist on the stage with us right now, Long Island's own Leah Laurenti.
Yeah. Hey.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Blue skies smiling at me. Nothing but blue skies do I see. Song, nothing but bluebirds all day long. Never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Noticing the days hurrying by, when you're in love, my, how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone. Oh, nothing but the blue skies from now on. Hey, oh, yeah. Blue skies smiling at me. Nothing but blue skies do I see. Hey, bluebirds singing a song. Oh, there's nothing but bluebirds from now on. Hey, hey, I never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Noticing the days hurrying by, when you're in love, my, how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone. Oh, nothing but the blue skies from now on. Hey, hey, oh, hey, so do babam way I'll do now. You do babam bidam yeah. Do yeah babam day. I never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Noticing the days hurrying by, when you're in love, mama, now they fly. Blue days, all of them gone. Oh, nothing but the blue skies from now on. Hey, hey, oh, blue skies smiling at me. Oh, nothing but the blue skies do I see.
This week's featured artist, Leah Laurenti. Very nicely done, kiddo.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Well, welcome to the Blues Warehouse.
Thanks for having me.
You and Ralph
and
did
my friends.
and your friends, great friends to have. This amazing ensemble of musicians. You and Ralph did my other show a few months ago at WUSB. And it was great to have you guys in there doing an unplugged acoustic thing. And
that was fun.
Now we've got the full electric thing going on tonight. And great job, kid. Great job.
Yay, thanks.
Let's talk about some history, Leah. I want to start with some history with you regarding when you began musically. Let's talk about how old you were. What made you decide this was something you wanted to do in life?
I was really young. I kind of like grew up in church, so I listened to a lot of like gospel music and old hymns like Amazing Grace and His Eyes on the Sparrow. A lot of stuff that a lot of people don't know, but it's real soulful and just really good stuff. But I don't really sing it anymore because I don't go to church. So, but yeah, I started when I was
You
young.
don't physically go. You still do in spirit.
In spirit, yeah.
I appreciate
in spirit
that.
In my heart.
You
yeah.
and me both, kid. You and me both.
But yeah, mostly like gospel stuff. And I always remembered really liking Frank Sinatra and Ella Fitzgerald. And
Did you listen to that stuff? Was that stuff being played in your house as you were growing up?
I remember it being in like old movies, but when I was probably around like 10, maybe 11, my grandfather actually gave me a cassette tape of Frank Sinatra, and I listened to it like all the time till I think it was broken. Like the thing, I couldn't get enough of it. So I fell in love with Frank Sinatra, and anything that had his picture on it or a song that he sang, I fell in love with it, and I would sing them all the time.
Great influence to have, kiddo.
Yeah,
Great
so
influence to
I've
have.
always liked jazz, and I guess because of the soulful like gospel background, I just kind of, I don't know. I love soul and I love jazz, and it's a great combination. And
No question.
That's
no
kind of what I
question.
stuck with.
And you can definitely hear the influence in you with those genres in here tonight. Let's talk about early day live performances for you outside of church, school recitals, restaurants, live music venues. Do you remember some of your gigs you did at an early age when you were getting started?
Yeah, the first time I sang like in a real concert was in the courtyard at my elementary school, and my teacher had begged me to learn this song from Les Mis, and I really didn't want to do it, but it was called Castle on a Cloud, and I learned it, and when I was really young, I had a very high young girl's voice, obviously, but that was my first time performing, and people loved it. People were like, who's this young girl? Like, they would ask my parents, who is she? And then I got a lot of solos and concert choir and chorus, and I don't know, I sang all the time, and by the time I was, I think, in like middle school, that's when people started hating me for it. So, I don't know, I ran with it and did what I loved to do.
You grew into the passion early.
Absolutely, yeah.
You enjoyed.
I always loved it.
You liked getting in front of audiences and doing your thing.
I just loved singing. I did. I loved singing. I loved hearing like what I could do with my voice, and I loved making different melodies with something you wouldn't expect. And I think the people watching and liking it was a bonus for me. It was just nice to know that people could sit there and have a nice time listening to somebody sing. So
Great beginning for you, kiddo. Great beginning. I say we get into another tune.
Cool.
We'll come back and we'll continue the Leah Laurenti journey.
Sounds good.
Things you've done in life and some interesting background that we're going to touch on next. What are we going to play next?
We're going to do an Etta James hit. I think everybody knows it. It's called At Last.
That happened. That was my wedding song, the first dance song with my wife, coincidentally performed by most of these guys behind you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that.
You told me that on the radio.
Oh, I did
show.
tell you? I forgot.
Yeah.
My memory shot.
I'm sorry.
I'm getting
I know.
old. It happens.
It's all right. It's a good story.
I'm not going to tell it again.
Good stories never get old.
I'll try not to. But some great musicians on here. We're going to talk to a few of them later. But let's do it. We'll come back and we'll talk more with Leah Laurenti, this week's featured artist. Long Island Blues Warehouse. We're going to keep it moving with Leah Laurenti.
The skies above
this week's featured artist, Leah Laurenti, Long Island's own. Very nicely done as always, Leah.
Thanks.
You like that song, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
I can
like
tell.
it.
I can tell. You just look at the bright face on this girl. She just lights up the room. I swear to God, you really do. You played. You and Ralph were part of a program Stony Brook Hospital allowed me to put together about a year ago. A live music therapy program up on the pediatric floor, playing for sick kids. Mm-hmm. And a couple of video clips we have of you, with that infectious smile of yours, with those beautiful vocals, and they're still talking about it now. We had you up there a few months ago.
Thanks.
Which means we got to get you guys up there to do it again.
Yeah.
Had Mike Sagarese up there with another player. We're going to talk to Mike about that a little bit later. The talent on Long Island is amazing.
It really is.
And you're a great contributor to that said talent, I need to say. Let's continue the journey with Leah Laurenti and what you were doing. Let's talk about junior high, high school days for you. What are you doing musically in your life at this point?
I played some sports, actually. I decided not to do the music 100%.
You did the sport thing.
Yeah, I honestly, I've heard a lot of, interviews from, people that have already made it in the industry. High school was very, very tough for me because I had a lot of people that were, I guess the modern term would be hating on the talent
jealousy.
that I had. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really make a lot of friends. A lot of the girls that were in my chorus class, either they loved me and they were really nice to me and they're like, you have an amazing voice. I know one day you're going to be famous, or they were like, ugh, I don't like you. So I didn't really actually get any parts in any school plays ever. And teachers actually didn't like me either. No joke.
No kidding.
I swear teachers thought I was too good to be in plays. It wasn't fair to the other kids. Or there was seniority, and if I wasn't a senior, you don't get parts in the play. But you know what? I still sang on the side. I did a lot of stuff on my own. I wrote a lot of songs. I met with other people that were, I met a friend of mine in my senior year of high school that had a studio, recorded my first song. It was a cover of a Yolanda Adams song. It was a gospel song called Open My Heart. And I did it, and I was like, I know this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And
you knew then?
Yeah, I've always been writing songs, and I didn't let, the intimidation of other people stop me from doing what I wanted to do. Instead, I joined the lacrosse team.
Wow. You played,
Yeah.
I was going to guess soccer or something. Lacrosse for you, huh?
Lacrosse, and I did cross country and badminton.
Badminton?
Yeah.
Lacrosse and badminton.
Yeah, maybe that's where I get
Nice combination.
guns.
Nice combination. That sounds like a whole nother show to do. We'll have to talk about that another time.
Yeah, we'll
Interesting.
get to that.
let's talk about out of high school. Let's talk about late teens, early 20s. You're in your mid 20s now. Let's
Right.
talk about a couple of years ago. Well, I guess we're going to head into I guess we'll talk about it now. Let me ask you a question before the American Idol thing. Were you doing anything else musically? Were you involved in any other projects?
Nothing serious. I mean, I did a couple hooks for some guys that were rapping in and out of studios here and there, helping people out. But
Some session work.
I joined a Caribbean band. You might have heard of them. I did it over one summer. I think it was summer of '05 or '06, and I joined a Caribbean band called. Oh God, I don't remember what it's called.
I'm not going to remember then, am I?
No. Oh my
That's
God,
all right.
I just had
It'll hit you 2 seconds after the show's done.
But they were fun, so I tried it.
Oh, that fun Caribbean band.
Yeah, they were a
Those
fun
guys.
Caribbean band.
I'm going to Google that later.
The Next Level band, that's it. The
Say
Next
it again?
Level. The Next Level.
Are they
yeah.
still around today?
I think they are. I see them on Facebook. But yeah, the whole American Idol thing kind of came into play. Is that what you
That's where I want to head next. I definitely want to head to that
All
next.
right. I
Let's
never
talk-
really wanted to do it.
You didn't want to do American
Never,
Idol. How
never.
did you get the opportunity given to you to look to do that?
Somebody called me. I had to get a job after high school because I didn't want to go to college because my mindset was I'm going to be famous, I'm going to make it big, and I don't need school. That was my mindset.
That was the mindset at the
Literally,
time.
I didn't really
Okay.
want to go to school. So I got a job. I have this great full-time job, and this coworker of mine calls me 7:30 in the morning, and she's like, "You got to call Z100. They're doing this contest. If you sing for 30 seconds, the first 5 people to call in, they got to sing for 30 seconds, and then they can get if they get enough votes, they can get a fast pass to
What'd you
to
sing?
American Idol." I sang "Always Be My Baby," a
Okay.
Mariah Carey song. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really into R&B. That's another thing I really like. So I sing it, and they say, "All right, now we're going to open the phone lines." And I'm thinking, what did I get myself into? I call my aunt, I call my mom, tell everybody in the house to get on the phone and start calling into Z100 to vote for me so I can get this passed because I'm like, I didn't do it for nothing.
So there's 2 votes you were getting.
Right, 2. But I wound up winning, and I got this pass, and they gave me the details. They give me this number. They said, you're going to actually get to cut the line. You won't have to wait. You're going to go to New Jersey.
So I went to New Jersey, and no joke, I didn't even make it through the first round. Like, I got in front of these people, and I'm thinking, like, I'm just going to sing, always be my baby. And they'd be like, oh, you're pretty good. You're through. No, it was like, can you sing another song? And I was like, really? Like, that wasn't good enough? It's like, it was just mind-boggling. Like, I was in shock. So I left, and I went home that day, and I said, this is exactly why I didn't want to do the show. It's
Afraid
like...
you didn't want to deal with the rejection.
Not even
in
the
the
rejection,
event there was
just
any.
I didn't feel like it was genuine. Like, there was,
Okay.
I didn't connect with the show right off the bat, and I didn't want to be a part of something that I didn't feel connected to.
Okay, I
Like,
can
even
understand
being
that.
here in this little studio, like, I feel a connection. Like, I think there's an energy here. There's something about it that...
I take the credit for that.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, but...
I'm
after
teasing
that,
you. It's these great guys behind you. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
It's good. Good job, guys.
All right. So what happens next? How did you wind up actually getting to audition for the three main judges?
Eventually...
Jennifer Lopez,
Yeah.
Steven Tyler, and of course Randy Jackson.
Right, and the first time I did it, it was it was Randy Jackson, Cara DioGuardi,
Right,
Simon
right.
Cowell, and we had a guest judge that day who was Victoria Beckham, and that was season 9.
I remember that episode.
Right, and I really didn't think I was going to go try out, but I was like, you know what, I saw a commercial, and I went on the internet, and I looked up the auditions. This is probably about 2.5, 3 years after I had been rejected prior. So I go online, and I see they're in Boston, and I'm like, there's no way I can go to Boston. I have like a week. I'm not going to go. This is stupid. I can't drive out of state. Like, I've never done that before. But I did. I wound up going to Boston. I tried out. I waited in, like, this line that was ridiculous.
That lasted for days.
Lasted for 12 and a half hours, pouring rain.
Might as well have been days, I'm
Changed
sure.
my outfit 3 times. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. But I got through, and I wound up, long story short, fast forward, I made it all the way to Hollywood.
You did. You made it to Hollywood.
Yeah, but I have to honestly say, I still didn't have that connection with the show. I think the day of, in that room with Simon Cowell and the 4 judges that day, I think I made a personal connection with them standing there, because it was just me and them, and off to the side were all these producers. But I think in that moment, I showed them who Leah was. This is me. I'm just a girl. I want to sing, and it's not about like all the pretty, beautiful things I'm going to get if I become rich and famous. It's just a girl that wants to do what she loves to do.
To her passion.
And I think they saw that, and I think especially Randy, because he really liked me, and he called me the best in Boston, and that was huge. And they don't air everyone's audition on TV, but they aired mine, and I felt very special and honored. And I really wasn't going to go back the next year.
What season was this?
This was season 9.
This was 9, okay.
I think Lee Wise won that season.
Okay, sure, I remember him.
And then I met my manager, Donna Thiel, shortly after that. And
Creative Empires.
Creative Empire. Somebody random that never calls me called me when I was in California, and they said, oh, my God, I saw you on TV, and it was amazing. Like, you have to call this guy that I know. His name's John. Meanwhile, this guy, John, has only known Donna for maybe a day or two. But I call this guy, John.
Wait a minute, John? That guy owes me money.
John Govia. John Govia. He actually does radio, too, so
Okay.
if he's listening,
Not
shout
important.
out.
Not important.
Not important. But, I call Donna, not sure what she can do, how she can help me. And she's not even sure how she can help me either, because she's only been managing New Life Crisis for the past, 10 years, something like that.
Another great local Long Island band.
Yeah, so I call her, and she goes, well, what do you want to do with your life? What's your goals? What do you want? Where do you see yourself? And
Did you at that point yell, I want to rock?
I want to rock. Yeah, right. Even though if I did do that, I'm sure Donna would have loved it. But she's like, I think you should go back to Idol and just try it again. I think you have a strategy, kind of, and it's like, third time's a charm. This would be the 3rd time in technicality, so.
I got you.
thought,
Let's
why
hold the
not?
story up there. We'll get
Yeah,
into the
cool.
season 10. Let's do another song.
This is going to be an original.
What are we doing?
It's called November.
Oh, love it, love it.
And
You
the
good
word
to go?
November, don't look for the word November, because it doesn't pop up once in this song.
All right, well, we'll talk about
It
that
just,
later.
Sets the mood.
You good to go?
We're good to go.
Long Island Blues Warehouse, we are going to keep it moving with Leah Laurenti.
Can you take me back to a place where the leaves weren't dead, where the wind in the air felt good around my head. This was a time I'll never have again. Sweet feeling, something new and warm in such a cold, cold place. I remember the smile that was always on your face. And it's strange now because our picture is fading. I thought that me and you were fine. I thought that we would have more time. It was over, ended without closure, and now I'm stuck trying to understand.
Oh, yeah. This week's featured artist, Leah Laurenti. Very nice as always, Leah. What a beautiful song.
And the band made it even more beautiful.
That flute featured Mike Sagarese.
Awesome.
I've heard that song before, never with flute. Well
great.
done, my man. Well done. Thank you. As always, as always. Leah, let's keep it moving. Let's talk about season 10 on American Idol. A little bit of a lineup change with the judges.
Right.
Now they've got from Aerosmith, Steven Tyler. They've got Jennifer Lopez,
From the block.
of course, and of course, still hanging in there, Mr. Randy Jackson. Now you're in front of them for the next season. Let's talk about how that went.
Okay, where should I start? So I went back. This time I went back to Jersey, and when I got through all these preliminary rounds and finally made it in front of them, Randy remembered me. He kind of looked at me like, yeah, I remember you. What happened?
Of course he did, because you made such a great first impression.
Right. And I just said, I was honest with him, and I said, I came to Hollywood and I had these expectations of what I thought it was going to be, and it wasn't what I thought. And I think I really fell under the pressure. I don't really like knowing that I'm on video camera and all this stuff, and I guess I should have thought about that before I decided to get into the music industry. But, no, I just kind of fell under the pressure. It didn't seem like everybody wasn't there for music. Everyone was kind of there to get their 10 minutes of fame, and I cracked under pressure the first time. So I told him that, and then I wound up singing Feeling Good. Birds flying high, sang that one. And he likes it. Jennifer Lopez goes, well, you obviously have a really good voice. And she said, I know, and I didn't see you the last season, but I'm just wondering, do you think you're strong enough? And she asked me, and I said, of course I'm strong enough. I mean, I wouldn't have came all the way back here, gone through this all over again, if I didn't think I was strong enough. Not to mention that this round, I was in the audition with strep throat. So,
Oh, lovely.
I could have stayed home and just,
Nurse the strep throat.
Right, but I was, whatever. Donna was with me. She knows how. I actually took a sheet from the hotel room, and I had it wrapped around me at one point. I was get me out of here. But I did it, and I made it to Hollywood again. Steven Tyler did not like me. My response to him not liking me, because he said, oh, well, can you sing something faster? So I'm just like, oh, my God, fast. I don't really do fast, I'm just thinking,
So
Sunday morning rain is fun. I started snapping because I thought if the snaps might manipulate a faster tempo or something.
Sure.
Even though it really wasn't.
They didn't buy it either.
He didn't buy that, no. He was like, I just feel like you didn't bring it. I feel like it wasn't, enough. This is American Idol, and you should really bring it. So at that point, I just thought, there's nothing else I can, do or say. And the first thing that popped in my head, which wasn't even planned, was I could stay awake just to, and I started singing his song, and he started singing it with me a little bit.
How did that go again? Give us a little more.
You want me to sing it?
Give me that first whole section.
I could stay awake just to hear you breathing, watch you smile while you are sleeping, while you're far away dreaming.
So you perform that in front of Steven Tyler.
Yeah,
and what does he say?
The whole chorus. Let me sing all the way through the chorus.
What does he say to that?
Don't want to close my eyes, don't want to fall asleep, 'cause I miss you, babe, and I don't want to miss a thing. And I sang it to his face, and I started inching up to the table,
So now you're approaching him as you're doing it.
Just a little bit, just to show him that this is what I want to do. Come on, man, help me out, throw me a bone. And I think he really did like it. I think if I had to go by intuition, I would say he liked it. I could tell.
Well, they put you through, didn't they?
They did. He didn't put me through, though. He still said no.
He still said no?
He did, yeah. He still said no.
Son of a... I'm going to
And
call
I have
him when
my
I get
dad
home.
outside the room, Donna, her husband outside the room, all wondering, why is she singing this song we didn't rehearse? What is she doing? And I think just that moment
Sometimes
alone,
you got to go with your instincts, kid.
Right. I just that was adrenaline. Just thinking back to that, I'm all
So J-Lo and Randy said yes.
They did. They said yes. And then I tripped walking out the door. So if that video ever leaks on TV somewhere, I'm admitting that I tripped a little bit.
Were you wearing the high heels you're wearing now?
I was. Not the same ones, but...
Lord have mercy. I don't
were-
know how you're doing
they
it.
were
My
about
feet are
four
killing me
inches.
looking at you in those.
These aren't too bad.
All right, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, but I went back, I did it, and I went to Hollywood, and I got eliminated again. But I did it, and I stuck through it.
Sent to Hollywood twice.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, 2 different hotels for each visit, too.
Very
2
cool.
different locations, so it was kind of like a nice little vacation.
All right.
Thanks,
And
American
great
Idol.
exposure, and what a great story.
Yeah.
Listen,
I don't regret it
with
at
what
all.
they just did with American Idol. I can't believe you didn't go a lot further in the competition, me personally. But
Thank you.
well, you know what? When I run my own Long Island Idol, I'm going to insist that you come on.
All right, cool.
But right now, there's nothing like that in the works. Let's get into another tune.
Cool.
We got time to get a couple more tunes in. That's not the cue.
All right.
Let's we got to. Let me see. Yeah, we got a good 20 minutes left. So let's squeeze in a couple more tunes. What are we doing next?
Summertime?
Excellent.
Okay. Cool.
You guys good to go? Let's do it.
Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich and your ma is good looking. Hey, so hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. Spread your wings and take to the sky. But till that morning, there's nothing can harm you. With daddy and Mary standing by. Summertime, oh, and the living is easy.
Nicely done, Leah Laurenti. Mike Sagarese on the flute. Well done as always, my man.
Thank you.
Kick-ass job as always, guys. Just an amazing ensemble of musicians behind you, Leah.
Absolutely.
I thought you'd agree with me on that. I thought
Yeah,
you'd
they're
agree with me
great.
on that. How long you been singing that song? You been singing that one long?
Maybe like.
When I was 4.
Actually, no. I've been singing this only a couple of months.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still.
All right.
I'm still getting like my own little.
My guess is you've been singing that since another lifetime ago.
Oh, really?
A
That's good,
past
yay.
life for you.
I'm glad to hear that.
It's like you and that song. It's like you just belong. You and that song are. I don't even know how to articulate it. You just you hit it out of the park, kid.
Thank you.
You hit it out of the
Thanks.
park.
I
Everything.
try to keep things a little bit like. I give it my own little special touch. So.
You definitely with a little Leah
I can keep
Laurenti
it
slapped
simple,
in there.
But I don't think that's fun.
No, definitely not. You do your thing with it. You make it your own, and,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what this show calls for. And well done as always. Well done as
you.
always. Let's talk about Citi Field. Let's talk about you performing one of the hardest songs in the world to thousands of people, the national anthem. How'd you get that opportunity?
A friend of a friend. Friend of a friend.
That guy John we talked about earlier.
He actually called me. He was actually friends with somebody I used to date. So
Okay.
he called and he said, tell Leah that I have these season tickets, and with the season tickets came a letter that season ticket holders were going to be invited to audition for the national anthem. They were giving their fans an opportunity to sing the anthem at one of the games. And this kid was like, if you want, I can call and see if you can be, the representative for our tickets and go there and sing it. So I wound up being able to do that. So I went to Citi Field one day. I took the 7 train there. I think it was the 7 or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
It was a long trip.
All right.
And for me, it was the first time alone on a subway. So
Might
I
as
was
well
like,
been
what
going
the
to
heck?
Boston. Might as well been like going to
Yeah.
Boston, right?
Well, when I have kids and I tell them these stories, I'm gonna be like, and I traveled down on the subway. It's like I'm gonna make it really animated, but I won't do that to you. So yeah, I tried out. I went to this little audition, and inside one of the offices in Citi Field, I met Mr. Met, and they called me back, and I did another audition in the actual stadium, and I guess they wanted to hear how you handle the delay. So I got the audition, and I sang the national anthem.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And you hit it out of the park, literally.
Thank you.
And you got to perform it, of course, at one of the games.
I did.
And if you YouTube Leah Laurenti, Leah Laurenti, Laurenti at Citi Field, you'll see that performance we're talking about.
Yeah, somebody recorded that on their iPhone or something.
It came out pretty good. It's
Yeah.
decent quality, and it's just a tremendous job. Tremendous
Thank
job.
you.
What is the website, by the way, so people can follow you with future things you're doing?
Website is www.leahlaurenti, LeahLaurenti.com.
.com. Is there a .net as well?
There's a .net also.
You got the .com and the .net.
Yep.
You got them both.
We did, yay.
Very cool. Very
Donna
cool.
did, yay.
BB King's this week.
Tomorrow
I know
night.
when this airs, it'll already have happened.
Right.
But pretty cool. You're performing at BB King's in New York City. That's always pretty cool. I know they're going to have you back. In advance, I'm saying that because I know. Just listen, with what you're doing, are you kidding me? They're definitely going to have you back.
Thanks.
What are some other future things you're working on?
Future things.
Anything you can talk about now that's in the works?
I don't know.
I know you're working with Heart and Soul with Ralph.
Yep,
And
Heart
these
and
these
Soul.
great guys behind you.
I guess Heart and Soul is almost every weekend, so you can probably go to my website or go to my Facebook, and wherever I am with Heart and Soul, I always post it.
Very cool.
And they're a fun dance band, like all the top 40s that I normally wouldn't do in my set, we do with Heart and Soul.
In that project.
Yeah, I like to stick to jazz and soul and R&B, but once in a while I throw in some Katy Perry just to keep the people happy and hear what I even did Dave Matthews before.
No kidding.
Yeah, so I mix it up.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And like I said earlier, you make a lot of these current tunes your own. Put your own little spin on them, and
Right.
and just
And they're all on a CD
excellent.
at
excellent.
iTunes.
Which I want to talk about that next.
Okay,
I want to
cool.
talk about writing and things like that. We'll get into that next. Let's get into another tune.
Okay.
Let's do another one. We'll come back and talk some more. What are we going to do next?
This next one is another original.
Called?
It's called Empty Line,
Okay.
and you'll hear that a lot in this song.
Written by yourself, of course.
Written by me a couple
good?
years ago, probably 6 years ago now.
Okay. You good to go?
Yep.
Once again on the Long Island Blues Warehouse, we are going to keep it moving with Leah Laurenti. Let's do it.
All right.
My body is weak. You've been running through my mind endlessly. It's 8:03 and the clock's ticking. How much longer till you answer me? And normally I wouldn't wait, but today things are just not the same. 'Cause before when I spoke with you, sounded sincere. So how could I just throw away what I feel like is worth the wait? Maybe it's something in me. I just feel you're like an empty line. I can't get through. You're like an empty line, and I just wanna talk to you. An empty line. Oh, I can't get through. You know you're like an empty line, and I just wanna talk to you. I find it so hard to believe that you couldn't find the time to call me, but I was so patient, waited on you, but in the end there was nothing I could do. 'Cause you had your own mindset, and now all I feel is regret. Just because I devoted my time to you. So how could I just throw away what I feel like it's worth the wait? Maybe it's just something in me. I just feel you're like an empty line. Oh, I can't get through. You're like an empty line, and I just wanna talk to you. You're like an empty line. Oh, I can't get through. You know you're like an empty line, and I just wanna talk to you. I wanna talk to you. I wanna talk to you, baby. I wanna talk to you, baby. I wanna talk to you, baby. Oh, you're an empty line, and I just wanna talk to you. Yeah. Oh, you're an empty line, and I just wanna talk to you. Oh, you're an empty line, and I just wanna talk. I just wanna talk to you. I wanna talk to you. Oh, you're an empty line. I can't get through. You're an empty line, and I just wanna talk to you. You're an empty line, and I just wanna talk to you. Whoa.
Ireland's own Leah Laurenti. Very nice. Do you like to write tunes? Do you like to write?
Yeah, I like writing a lot.
You sit down and do it a lot?
Pretty much, if I have time.
Let me ask you this. It's different for everybody. How's the thought process work for writing tunes for you? Can you say on a Sunday night, I'm going to sit down Wednesday at a certain time and write some tunes? Or
No.
you have to be influenced by something that happens to you in life?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Like, it could come out of nowhere. A lot of times I'm in my car. I write in my car.
Have you had the pressure yet of having to put so many songs together in a certain period of time to go out for an album?
I have a lot of songs, and I've been down that road where everybody asks me, like, what do you have? Like, what do you have that we can work with? And I honestly have so many songs written with melodies, like, in my head that don't actually have the music to them.
Sure.
I play a little guitar, a little piano by ear. So there's only, like, so much I can really do to get the whole song composed enough for me to go somewhere and play it. But when I wrote Empty Line, it was 2 chords, simple. Same thing with November. November, when I went with the producer, he had me play him all my songs, the dinky little 2-chord things, and he like made it into these beautiful songs. So I could only imagine if I took like the 20 plus songs that are solid, good, ready to go right now, and brought them to a producer and sat down with whoever it was going to be, we can make them into something great.
Just don't make it Steven Tyler.
I wouldn't. No.
I appreciate that.
I'd work with him if he wanted to work with me.
If he wanted to work with you,
Yeah.
I would step in and say, you can't have her. You blew it. I would say no.
I'd give him a second chance.
Oh, you would?
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think TV can. I don't know. TV makes some people sour.
It
so.
does do that. It absolutely
Whatever.
does. Please share with us the website one more time so people can follow you.
Okay, it's www.leahlaurenti.com or .net.
Okay. I hate to say it, but we only have time for one more.
That's perfect.
Before we get into it, we got to do a couple of goodbyes. Let's start with on the keyboards over here, Mr. Herman Sinertia. Herman, thank you so much for coming out and being a part of this today. Always appreciate seeing you. Great keyboard player for my wedding band 4.5 years ago. Love what you're about. On the saxophone and flute, Mr. Michael Sagaris. Thank you so much, Mike.
My pleasure.
Had a blast having you perform for the kids at Stony Brook Hospital on the pediatric floor a good month ago or so.
It was very touching.
It's a profound experience, it really is. And you put some smiles on faces of kids that were in no mood to smile. So we thank you for that, you and Mark Eisman being
Yes,
a part of that
absolutely.
project. And I hope that we can do it again with you.
Sure.
Let's head over to the drummer back there, Mr. Jay Fields. Jay, I appreciate it, my man. Kick butt job as always. On the bass, Mr. Steve Boos. Thank you, Steve. On the guitar, we got to thank Ralph Padilla, guitar and vocals. And last but certainly not least, the lovely and talented Leah Laurenti, lead vocals on this project. Awesome, Leah. Thank you so much. You also, you and Ralph on guitar also played for the kids on the pediatric floor with me at Stony Brook Hospital, and we thank you so much for that.
That was fun.
And they're still
I won't wear 4-inch heels.
they're
next
requesting Mike and Mark Eisman, and they're requesting you guys to come back. So I hope we can arrange that again in the future to
Yeah, cool.
have you go up there and play for the kids again. So I'm gonna harass you guys until you say yes down the road. So
time. Can I thank the guys too?
yes, please.
Yay! Thanks, guys, for helping me out today. The best.
Great ensemble of musicians behind you, some serious pros you brought with you, and I thank you for that, Leah. You're going to play us out. What are we going to finish up with?
We're gonna do a cover song called Valerie.
No kidding.
It was made famous by Amy Winehouse.
It certainly was, who we lost a good year ago,
Yes.
unfortunately. Before you play us out, we got to thank your manager, Donna Thiel, with Creative Empires. And for further info on her, please go to creativeempires.com. Check out what she's all about and what she does with you. She posts everything that you do as well.
Yep.
So you got to check that out. For the Long Island Blues Warehouse, I'm Mark Klein at liblues.com. And you always have to remember to check out EKO Studios at ekoproductions.com, because as many of you are aware, they are the official studio of this show, the Long Island Blues Warehouse. So we thank EKO Studios always for that. Ralph and Ralph, the video guy, Steve in the booth working the sound, the best production company on the East Coast. Probably in the U.S., but I can only attest to the East Coast. So That's the best the best I can give those boys, and well deserved. So I thank you again, guys. Leah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing a lot more things you do in the future.
Yeah.
And stay away from Steven Tyler. He's no good.
All right.
He's no good.
All right.
One more time, please say goodbye to this week's featured artist, Leah Laurenti.
I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. Oh yeah, yeah. Since I've come on home, yeah, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Yeah, oh Valerie, yeah, oh Valerie, yeah, my Valerie, yeah. Did you have to go to jail? Put your house on up for sale? Did you get a good lawyer? Oh yeah, I hope you didn't catch a tan, and I hope you'll find a man who will fix it for you. Are you shopping anywhere? Change the color of your hair. Are you busy? Oh. Did you have to pay that fine? You were dodging all the time. Are you still busy? Oh, since I've come on home, yeah, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Yeah, oh Valerie, yeah, oh Valerie, yeah, oh Valerie, yeah. Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water,